What's up? What's up? Oh, we'll start sooner than that. 1 second. How you guys doing? He tricked us. Ah, ha 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 ha. Oh ha 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 ha. Dude, I'm like running off of fumes. Got a Monster energy drink I just cracked open. Probably a bad idea. Whatever. Whatever. Rutto, how you doing? Hey, Orbs. Yo. Cool. It's cool. Cool. Cool whip. Monster's life. If you guys haven't done it yet, you should make sure to vote for this. Vote for this awesomeness. All you gotta do is hit like. This music might be a bit intense. I'm enjoying it, but is it a bit distracting on the stream at all? Before I get this guy going. Where are my notes? You guys are gonna have to bear with me because I haven't really played in Speedtree all that much. Dude, it's already won. That guy overnight was able to pass him by like spamming it to an entire country. It was crazy. Matt had 150 lead the other day. How's it going, guys? Hello? The Foliage stream. Don't get too hyped. We're just gonna start pretty basic. We're gonna talk about tree composition and what makes a tree and things to think about, how trees grow and stuff like that. But expect the next couple streams to be about foliage only. And then we'll be getting that stuff in Unreal and seeing how it looks and figuring out why it looks good or bad. And I'll be learning along the way. I'm just trying to find a really good picture of a sycamore tree. Sycamore. How you guys doing? Maybe I should change the title of my stream. There you go. I just call it, let's talk about foliage. The non-Speedtree way. So we've got Speedtree up, and I'll be using Speedtree in its basic form just to help illustrate some of the ways that trees grow and stuff like that. Let's see here. How you doing, Face Melt? Reeds, Jopie. Anyone else that said hello? Ruto, Tobias, Michael Obbs. I wanted to call you Orbs. There's one more really good picture. Where are we at here? This'll work. Okay. So we're gonna look at tabs. That should be fine. I'm gonna need my Wacom too. This might be a bit basic for, well, it'll probably be pretty basic for most of you for a little while. Bear with me. I'm glad you're catching the stream too, dude. Whoa, I got a, what was that? Hang on. I forgot I don't have one of my tools up that says someone followed me. Whoa, Jesus. Postastic Art and Animation. Thanks for the follow. That is one hell of a username. Oh, thanks, Galen. That's awesome. I hope... I mean, I never know, because usually I'm just talking about what I'm doing. But yeah, cool. Okay, so let's talk about, this looks like it is a, well, at least the tab says it's an American sycamore tree. I'm going to need my Epic pen. I'll lower the music for myself. Is the music volume okay for you guys? Welcome people that have not been here before. I think we're good. Lots of, oh God, not good. There we go. Ah, every time. Best feature ever, guys. All right. Managing multiple tabs is gnarly. Okay, let's get some. Feels right. We'll lower this a bit. All right. Cool. My stream times upset you, Pinion? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, dude. Why does it upset you? About 45 minutes from now, I'm going to add another hour to that, because the app I'm using right now caps at 2 hours, I think. I don't know why. Okay, we'll move this to the side too so we can draw to the side of it. So thanks to you guys and your donations, I was actually able to get a hold of Speedtree. You guys are the dopeness. I know I need that hard drive, but I think I need Speedtree more than a hard drive. Okay. This color should pop. Yeah, cool. You need consistency in your life? I mean, sorry. What's up, 3D Licks? Okay, so I mean, we all know there's a trunk, right? So like, some of the main things to think about are you have your trunk, which usually splits somewhere around the midpoint, somewhere around here, to like primary branches. So I call these primary branches. I'm assuming that's what they're called. I don't know what they're called. I guess you could call the trunk a branch too, couldn't you? So with that, you have your primary branch that then splits into some other branches. It's pretty obvious, right? But the way these branches split kind of has a rule set to it. So like, if the diameter of the tree is 1, we'll just go with a number 1. No size in particular, just 1. When the branch comes off of that, it turns into like a 0.5, so it halves. And each time it branches, it halves again. And this is like just the diameter of the branch. So things that really help sell how branches form and whatnot. Not too Speedtree, I've been lied to. It's true. It's true. You guys have been asking for Speedtree stuff or Foliage talks in general for like 2 months now. I feel bad. It's time. It's time to talk about it. Oh, this one's weird. The Doctor. Welcome, new people. Hello. South Stands. I called you out. I'm sorry. 303. All right, so as these branch off, branches tend to, so if this is the trunk, when branches break off, they go out, right? Wherever there's, like I naturally will start, let's see here, I'll naturally start breaking and bending a branch a certain way. You see how it kind of curves here? You tend to get breaks at those points. So whenever another branch comes off of a branch, you tend to get a slight change in the direction of the branch. And that continues throughout a branch as it happens. So remember, they're halving in size every time they go up too. The other thing is to think about the age of a tree. So like how a tree grows, right? So the shorter a branch is, the younger the branch tends to be. And so like the smallest ones will be the youngest. When they break, they become younger and younger. How's the best way to explain this? If you think about, so you branch here, usually there's no leaves here. If there's a little branch that comes off, then you'll get some leaves there. From here to the end point is where you get most of your leaves on a branch. So when you think about how, like, where those leaves choose to happen, they usually are on this area of a branch. The other thing is they tend to be, think about the branch from start point to the end point of whatever branch you're leading to, and the leaves tend to get smaller no matter what as they go to that point. So like if you're here and you have leaves, by the time it's here, they'll be at the smallest. What's up, bro? They'll be at their smallest technically, or their youngest at that point. They tend to also have there's a color gradient that tends to happen with these as well, based on the time of the year and what type of tree it is, of course. It's like some trees don't lose their color, right? Before I continue, do you guys have any questions about that type of stuff? Let's see if I make sure I'm covering things that I'm... It's super important as well to know and understand the tree that you're going to make. So think about the region that your scene is going to take place in, or the type of tree that you're interested in. If you find a really good picture of the tree that you want to make, research that backwards, find out what type of tree that is, and then understand how that tree grows. How many trees are there in the world? I have no idea, man. I wish I knew. That'd be actually pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool to know. Although determining the precise number of trees on the planet at any point in time is impossible, there are approximately 400 billion trees around the globe today. Reference.com. Referencing treehuggers.com. Hey Daz, how you doing? Dazzo. Okay, so let's talk more about this gradient stuff. So leaves get smaller as they go out, but if a branch is old enough, right, from here to here, those leaves will be quite lush. But near the end, make sure that they taper out. So it's more like, think of everything as giant leaves, right? Like this. Makes sense, right? Even though this is very strange. So this is like a volume. So inside of there, you'll have like leaf density, and then it shrinks down and scales down to density. Yeah, I think we'll look at Speedtree a little bit, but I'll be using it more to like illustrate some stuff. But yeah, that's kind of like the rule of rules for branch breaking and distribution of leaves and such. The next thing to think about. Thanks for the tip, by the way. I just realized I donated to hard drive. Your money will go to the hard drive. Trust me. So from top view, here's your trunk. As you go up a trunk, each time there's, switch colors, each time there's a break and a branch forms from the main trunk, it comes out at a certain area. So I don't know what the, there's a name for this mathematical equation where the branches form, because it's kind of like the same spiral that exists in most things, if not all things in the world that grow in a spiral. Where a branch comes out of, let's say one's there, the next one will come out, they come out like this, right? And it's weird because this looks really basic and mathematically boring. Like, how is that possible when it's like this? But think about it as if this is the lowest one and this is the highest one. So it's like doing this, right? And as it's doing that, it's going up. And each time it goes up, we'll do another layer. Each time it goes up and past, it always goes to the center of the last one. That way that the branches have a lower chance. I think it is the Fibonacci curve, yes. Thank you. So each time a branch forms, it's trying to avoid being in a position where it's exactly under another branch. So it'll keep doing this, right? Just to avoid that. And then as it gets high enough, it could technically be on top or close to being on top, because it doesn't matter anymore. Those branches are far enough away from each other. Oh yeah, we'll pick blue. Blue's gonna be good. Other thing you have to think about is water. So water is coming from the ground, right? Rains, water goes into the trunk. Trunk can get a bit fat. The ground can be a bit lifted around the tree as well sometimes. Just based on like the root structure, depending on the tree. The root structure will be lifting the ground around it and be fat with water. So as water goes up, you'll get some, water's heavy, right? So you'll get some water going into the branches, and you'll see these branches that are coming down like this, like that, or at least the leaf volume is kind of down like that around this area. What am I drawing? What is happening? That whole area here is quite heavy with the water. Hey, what's up, Coffee? You also tend to get a lot of the dead stuff, the dead leaves and branches and stuff that are in here, like ones that have been around for a while and have broken. Adding something to a tree to show like a branch that used to live a long time ago and has broken off near the base will help sell a tree that's been around for a while. Let's delete this stuff a bit. Never trust trees. I've seen them in movies. They'll fucking kill you, man. Some of the healthiest leaves and youngest will be around this area. Right? And you think about it three-dimensionally as well, because this is spherical. When it comes to making a tree in 3D, I'm just gonna clear all this stuff. When it comes to making a tree in 3D, there's some stuff you have to think about as far as like selling the volume, because we can't really make every leaf. So, I mean, you can, but you'll do that in like the lowest LOD. Yes, Pinion. So picking out shapes to volumize normals around is really beneficial. So we're gonna get a bit digital with this next part. So if you got a sphere, right, and light's coming in from this way, you get your highlight here, and then as the light wraps around, you basically lose your lighting around this area. So it's like the normals are spherical, right? Hey, Andrew. Welcome back. So the lighting on that sphere is spherical, the way the normals are bouncing the lighting around back at the render camera or the frame. When you build a tree like this, trees are doing this volume thing as well. Like if I highlight some of the, can I do that? Is that gonna show? Oh yeah. Okay, we're gonna darken it a bit. So you can see there's like shadows that are in here. There's some shadowing in there. It's kind of hard to see actually. I'm gonna shrink it down. Anyway, so, oh man, yeah, screw that color. So you're getting these shapes. There's a little bit here, a little bit of shadowing there. There's this shape here. There's this one. There's this weird long one here. It looks like there's one here, one there, one there. So there's these volumes, right? Man, what the hell am I drawing? This thing's crazy. You're getting shapes that are selling this volume, right? Ooh, new substance. Might have to look at that. What else should we talk about with this? I mean, knowing these volumes exist is really important in selling the shape of this tree. So when you're modeling this in Speedtree, and I don't even know how to do this. Why is everyone talking about the division? Maybe because it's free to play this weekend. I think an hour and a half ago it was free to play on PC. Okay, so these shapes in Speedtree, you can volumize these areas where essentially you take all of the cards. Let's say these are all cards, right, of the leaves for that area, and make that branch cluster volumized. So essentially all of the normals will face out, just like a sphere. And when the sun is shining from this side, you get a nice volumized normal that happens across, or volumized lighting that happens across that. So then you end up getting the shadow in this area again. And as you move the light around, it'll shadow correctly. So you tend to get a much more volumetric tree. What's up, Dash? I see your question mark. So in the past, I used to do this in 3ds Max. And basically, you would just model out the blob shapes and then steal the normal direction information and embed it into the vertices of the meshes under it. Okay, let me collect myself on all the stuff I just talked about so I can make sure I'm not missing things. I mean, I think, so when it comes, I guess reviewing that stuff, when it comes down to it, it's where the branches form in accordance to each other. Like how they, am I going to GDC? I don't think I'm going to GDC. When is it? How did I learn this stuff? So Pinion knows, way back in the day, when Pinion and I worked together, we worked with a guy that was, you always hated trees in video games. They're just now, in my opinion, right now, they're just starting to get really good. Like, we've been able to achieve trees in games decently, but they've always had an issue with them, right? I think right now, trees are starting to explode and be awesome. There's no way, Pinion. If it's January, that's impossible for me. Because I have to go home to... I'll be in the U.S. Next year. My brothers get married. Oh, yeah. Where was I? Sorry. I lied. If you can make them wait just a little longer. 4 tickets to GDC. Thanks, man. Okay, so when it comes to building trees and how I know all this stuff, Pinion and I used to work together, and we worked with this guy, and he went to school and learned all about everything foliage. What is that? What is that job? That's like that's not a botanist, is it? No, that's something else. Plant scientist? Yeah, botany, like you're the botany school. That sounds about right, yeah. Rafflecopter. Does that ring a bell? Rapple J Dizzle. Arborist, like arboretum. But he studied like all plants. He knew trees really well. Arborist. Arboriculturist. Rapples, miss that guy. He has some crazy stories. Anyways, he would go on, and I loved it. So it wasn't on and on. It was great. It was so much information on how trees and shapes in plants form and why they're like that. And he basically taught me that there's a composition to a tree, like where a branch is, where certain colors are, why they're there, where you're going to expect to find dead branches, what a healthy tree looks like. Matt Damon. What do I like this program? We're not even using... So I have Speedtree up, but we're not really using it right now. So that all of that stuff, it's like a ton of detail, right? Stuff to think about. So I would really, really simplify it. Think about the age of the tree. Make sure branch positioning is nice. As far as this stuff goes here. And then look at where your leaves are placed. Make sure that you get an ambient occlusion bake to your vertices. Arborista, tree surgeon. Whoa. And then after that, it starts to get much more technical. I always suggest including areas where dying or dead branches or kind of aged branches rest. Because that really, like, you end up seeing those really closely, especially in first-person games. But the The other things that you're going to want to think about are just more technical stuff. So, like when you... Actually, we'll just look at it. We'll look at it in Speedtree now. I'm going to erase all this stuff. Is this stuff helping you guys at all? I'm kind of just talking about the stuff. What am I doing? Just talking about the stuff that I know or feel. So we'll open a sample tree. Yeah. Let's see if this one works. The problem with trees, so Dash is saying, the problem with trees was that middle section that all the light shines through. Because they always make the chunks you colored so dark, and then the light was like blinding pixels where the light parts are. Yeah, so there's like this lighting balance, right? Like, so you're talking about inside of here it was really dark. Okay, let's see if I can he do it? Okay, camera controls. I got this. Oh man, this is gonna be rough. Okay, so if we go node base, we can grab the branches. So let's see if I can't hide the leaves. So I'm hiding the leaves by just selecting the nodes. You probably can't see it in the UI because it's behind this. I'm selecting the nodes for the leaves and just pressing H. And you can press H again, you can unhide them. So it's really important to see where these branches are resting. Oh, you can group hide too. So immediately this looks really weird to me. This is why I usually don't like using the 5 minutes before he breaks it. Oh God, it's okay. It isn't game development if you don't break something. Okay, so this tree is immediately very strange to me. There's some strange areas where knots are, which is kind of weird to me. Where there's this giant gap here, essentially is happening because there's no branches there. Why is there any branches there? Because these two branches are directly on top of each other. So like if you're gonna go in and use a tree that already exists in here, I would just go in, hide the leaves, and start looking at where the branches are located. This always looks a little weird too. So if you see these two branches are right next to each other at the same height, it's happening again here. Oh, they're not directly diagonal to each other either. And these ones are weird. Can I delete these? It's very strange to have branch, like trunk stuff, just chilling. And to have them like, so see this one here was straight out. Like when was a branch like straight out? Maybe it did this. The only time a branch would be straight out like this is if, let's see here. We'll do black. Okay, if the branch is very, very full of water, and you see branches that are like that, sometimes that are just the part of that tree is kind of bulging. It's like a camel, it's full of water. So if it was straight out like this, I expect that the branch was fat here and then came up. I'm doing this in mouse, so bear with me. So there's a bunch of water here, right? And maybe that's why that was cut off. Most of the time when a branch is cut off like this, it's because looks like the tree is on acid. It is possible to create cactus in Speedtree, as far as I know. I mean, I've never done it, so I don't know. So this branch, we tilt that up. Just a little odd for it to be. This one's yeah, that one's okay. And then think about where it is positionally compared to the other branches. So the only reason these are usually broken off like this is we've actually, as humans, have actually cut those branches off. Mainly because they were either too big or like there was a walking path next to it, and either that or lightning. So it'd be very weird, like to have so many, especially this high up. So we're just gonna remove those just because it'll make it easier to deal with this. So let's just start working our way up the tree. So, and I'll go clockwise. So we'll put this one here because it's like one to the next. Then the next one is this guy, which is going to be more there. Then this one is going to go there. So you see it's like stairs. Oh shit, this one's actually, okay. So it's very weird to see branches that are parallel to each other, so I'm actually gonna do that. And we'll take this one, rotate it this way. I'm gonna hide those two. Okay, so now we can see the primary. Yeah, node option's nice. There's a hotkey for that. Tab. So if see it says generator up here, if you hit tab, it'll switch to nodes, and then you can go in and you can like manually edit. Like this one, if you grab this and move it in and out, you can scale the length of the branch. So let's keep going around. This one's weird to me. We're actually gonna do that, and then we'll move this one somewhere around there. So right now we're just looking for this whole side is blank, which is really freaking weird to me. So we're just gonna start filling the tree up. So another nice thing you can do is just start looking from the top. So you see these are on the same, like, imagine they're on the same loop, so that's really freaking weird. Let me do that, and then move this one up. You don't want them on the same point. It just doesn't really make sense. I'm gonna bring these out a little bit. Because remember, as they go down, they get a bit heavier as well. Oh yeah, and you see how the trunk, this part right here, is curving to the side here. It's a little strange, but because that's happening, make sure to branch it at that bend point. Remember when we were drawing those? Let's do that. This one's really strangely long. Let's do that. And this looks like it's getting a little better. Oh, there's still. Oh. So we're just trying to balance these out right now. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah, I want to do vines with a force mesh. Interesting. I can look into that, and we can talk about it and stuff. I'm gonna write some stuff down. Yeah, because you can get some really nice ivy stuff where you can bring in like a mesh, like a cube, for example, and then you can force geometry and trunks and stuff up a tree, and then you can grow the leaves off of that. And then export that out. Man, that looks super nice. I'm going to bring these down a bit. These are strangely low poly. I'm like, what is this even? Okay, there's length. Start angle. Jitter frequency. Aha. That works for me. Yeah, you can draw branches as well. Like you're talking about this hand drawing stuff. We're going to just talk about fixing this tree right now, because they supply you with some questionable trees. So now we're much more interested in making sure that this is filling, like this shape, right? So these bottom ones are going to make sure those come out a bit. This maybe needs to shorten. This is relatively balanced. I'm just looking at where the branches are all coming out of. Okay, let's look at these. Really? They added, all right. All right, here's the next set of branches. So this next set of branches is more like treating this branch, this specific one here, like a leaf. So if we, oh yeah, we can hide these. Awesome. Hang on here. Okay. Okay, so once you have your main trunk and your branch, your first major branch, all branches coming off of it, think about it like this guy here is a leaf, right? So like this. So like these are the veins, right? Oh. So with that in mind, maybe we'll just do this. This one I'll probably keep long and then shorten this one. These are strangely low poly. The other thing I would say is I learned this talking to Matt and Chris, and this branch and the trunk, they're cool to generate in here, but these guys are really weird to me. They're cool to generate in here. These ones, they have told me, and I will agree, these ones should be brought in as their own, like you've modeled them. So you have very specific control over how these are shaped. So now that we have those kind of in the position we're interested in, I'm going to just go wider with these. Let's see how they're hanging. Yeah, so it's kind of like a leaf. Man, this is super low. Sure. Remember, everything's trying to look up too, right? They're going where the sun is. Ugh. Okay. Oh, is this the part where I broke it? This is the part where I broke it. How do you unhide all? Because remember I hid these ones? We'll see if chat's faster than my Googling skills. Dazzle's laughing. Hey, you. While I'm looking for this, on the right-hand side. Okay. The nodes. Right, but if you, like, this node is considered visible. This node's considered visible, but I've individually hid the, yeah, see? Do you see? There's more branches in this node. Show. Oh, interesting. Yeah, see, I've hidden everything. But just so you guys know, the number keys, I'm just learning this now. Number keys, 1 for leaves, 2 for fronds, 3 for branches. So I can be like, no leaves. So pressing 1 will hide your leaves. It's interesting. Invisibility. Toggle isolation. Show all. Oh, shit. There we go. Whoa. Manipulators, visibility. So these look like they are collision. Hide those for now. So already this tree is a lot better. As far as leaf distribution. Crom, how you doing? Hello. Thanks, Dazzo. Yeah, right-click, viewport, unhide all. So if you right-click, there's some other cool things I found in here as well. So show, you can toggle like leaves. If I press 1, I can turn leaves on and off. Visibility. There's toggle selected for hidden. Toggle isolation, it's I, so H and I, and then show all. That's weird, there's no hotkey for the show all. So some trees will have this blank spot, which is, I mean, I guess if that's going to be blank, you need a knot there to explain. We'll do that. Gotta have reasons, man. Need them reasons. Okay. And then see some weird blankness going on here. But compositionally, now you start looking at the tree and you're like, okay, what's weird? This one's weird. So I select that, then press 1. So you can start looking at like compositionally how your branches are filling your scene. Whoa, that one's weird. Oh. I'm like, what did I do? So if you need to, let's see if I can drag this up. Oh, my phone is. Do not disturb. If you show. Johnny Bird, thanks for the follow. So let's look visibility, show all. So you show all, you get these collision stuff going on, right? Let's look at how you. So if I drag this up, that doesn't help. Okay, this is gonna get weird. Whoa. So you can see here, you can select. There's a collision. You have your force modifiers here, mesh forces. So we're gonna click on the collision here. And then just select all, and then if you press H, you can hide that. I'm sure there's a way to toggle that stuff, I just haven't figured it out yet. Yeah, so this is subscription-based. Is it 25? I thought it was 20. All right, 20, 25. Take that and multiply it by about 8, and that's how much it cost me in Swedish krona. The crown. So this toggling of the leaves is super handy because like I can be looking at this in node view, node selection editing mode. Be looking at it, press 1 and be like, all right, I need to select that branch, then press it again so I can see the leaves. So I can see the leaves and understand the composition that I'm working with. You know what I'm saying? The other thing is I'm noticing that the distribution of those leaves is quite clumped up. You can see like, yeah, it's just kind of round like this. So let's look at this branch. So already it's kind of looking weird. So let's do this. Because there's space here, right? There's space right here for that branch to get the most sunlight that it can based on the location that it's in. So you just kind of fan these out a bit. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, see they're every other as well. They're zigzagging like this. Just Scopes, how you doing? Hello. It's $20? Yes. I know what I'm spending, I guess. I don't know. So that branch probably looks at least a little bit better. Oh wow, there's camera facing ones in there too. That's really strange. The other thing we should think about too, since I'm talking about all this stuff. Oh man, yeah, we're getting all types of weird shit going on up here. Look at these guys. Where you at? What's happening? You're all wrong. You're all wrong. The other thing we should know is like I'm pretty freaking amateur at this tool. just so you guys know. But as we keep this going, we're going to keep talking about it. We're going to talk about foliage for at least a couple episodes. Melon Cove, how you doing? But obviously you cannot continue to edit them. Yes, that is totally correct. So once you get this tree looking the way you want it to look, it's important that it looks as good as you want it to look, right? Because once you get it in the engine, you can't really edit it so much in the engine. As far as base trees, I think it only comes with like 5 or 6. I think you would have to buy more. So let's steps. Whoa. So We've added a shit ton more branches. Let's scope this out really fast. Basically, I'm trying to fill it up with good branch distribution. So you get these two right here that are really close together. That's like really bad. Trees don't do that unless they're in a bad situation and they're desperate to get a branch out. That's right, trees get desperate. Is it weird? You bet. You bet. Welcome to the stream, by the way. There's a couple new people in here that's talking in chat. Nice to have you. They make a pretty good amount of their money through that stuff, through selling trees and whatnot. They make the most of their money, though, from film and game production. Oh, see, we're getting this really weird. So you see how all the branches up on the top are kind of like on this plane? We need to rotate those out a bit. But like for me to use this at home is quite cheap. $20 a month. That's pretty good. For a AAA studio to use it, it's a lot of money. A lot of game studios tend not to use Speedtree because of that cost. Let's see here. So we're just looking at branch distribution again. This one's rather long. Just gonna bring those in a little bit. That one's kind of crazy. Oh yeah, it is. It's all by itself. Pull that one in a bit. How do you guys do foliage for the Division? So the Division takes place during winter, which really makes it financially much easier to deal with foliage, right? I believe we just hand modeled them or outsourced them. And most of the time they look like this. They didn't have any leaves on them. This one's still acting really strange to me. I'm gonna bring it down and we'll go up like this. And then let's see if we can't give it some some jink amount. What is some jink amount, guys? Gonna get some of that jink amount. Let's see what's going on now. A bit more natural. So it's following, so you got this flow going on, you got this kind of supports itself. Go a little bit lower so it's over by where that kink happens. Bring it back up a bit. All right, so let's look at it now. So this one's looking pretty good. I mean, it's expensive. I mean, it's 11,000 tries. That's actually not all that bad. And then what's nice is like, see from this angle, you're getting these nice shadows and stuff under here. Let's see if we can, yeah, that's, so if you keep rotating the light, you can see kind of how the shapes will form based on the light direction. Yeah, I've used Simply Gone. Simply Gone's good. It's very good. So you're getting a lot of interesting shapes too. Like, see, now I can use say I use a tree in this direction. I get, we'll do this. How am I going to do this? Okay, we'll go here. So if I use this side, I can get this shape. which is cool, right? Then I can turn it this way. Now I get this shape. That's cool. So this is one thing you need to think about when you're building a tree, because they tend to get expensive really fast. So you need to be conscious about trying to give the tree some shape that you can use multiple times just by rotating the tree. See, like these two are basically the same, which doesn't really help us all that much. This one's a little better. So that's, I mean, this one to this one, there's some nice shifts. And this one's nice because it's just much more organic. I don't even think we have AO on this right now. So if you double click the background, you can recenter the camera. X frog plants? I've actually not heard of that, maybe? So up here in the edit, there's a AO, so you can generate some ambient occlusion inside of the tree. Look at that. Delicious. So now we have AO that's actually baked into the vertices of the entire tree. This will give you some really nice information in Unreal. This spot's kind of exposed. Let's rebake that AO. There you go. Yeah, face melt. For sure. For sure. What's up, Honky? Honky. Nice pixels. So, yeah. Now, the thing you're talking about I'll move this here. I wonder if this is, can I just turn this on? Enable? Yeah, this is another nice thing about Speedtree is it's weighting all of your content for motion, right? So you can control that by top right, same as the lighting. So if you grab this, you're moving the light around, which is really good. Then this guy's really good because you can turn it on. It's a fan. You can crank that strength up. Get it going crazy. Twitch can't handle it. It's freaking out. All right, we'll zoom out like this then. Twitch is like, oh, maybe that's why no one streams it. All right, let's look at this thing Johnny sent. X frog plants. Oh, this does look familiar. I'll have to look at it and then I can get back to you on like what I think about it. It truly is Speedtree. So we've got this is some good volume. Let's break down some of the material stuff that's happening. So we've got a texture that's a 2048 by 512 or a 512 by 2048 for the bark. I would strongly suggest going out and accidental lurking. I would strongly suggest getting photo reference, just photogrammetry, that stuff. Get that all into a Substance Designer and just use Substance Designer to clean up your tiling. And you can get a really good height map from your photogrammetry scans. So essentially do a photogrammetry of the bark, right? Get on a mesh, bake the height map to like a quad, like wrap it around and bake it to a quad, and then that baked texture bring into Substance, and then work with it until you can get a tiling, and you will have a really nice bark. Bark is probably one of the hardest things to Substance, so I just suggest doing photogrammetry. We'll probably do a stream on that at some point. Matt and I have been planning on, we just need to figure out a date. We're planning on doing that stuff. Gonna go try and do some photogrammetry because we haven't really played with it at all, and it's the future, at least for things like bark and some other simple things like rocks and things like that. They probably told each other to watch out about me. Yeah, Ben Wilson did a pretty good one, and his is like really difficult. He's just like, nah man, just photo scan that stuff. Yeah, it's hard. There's some decent tutorials out on it now too. How are we doing on time? Hour 47 to go. Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah. So now looking back at these textures, we've got the bark coming in at a 512 by 2048. And it's tiling, of course. Looks like it's a wide piece. Thom Dirks, thanks for the follow, man. Are you Dirks from the Discord? Also, in about 45 minutes, we're going to be looking at stuff in the Discord work in progress channel. So if you put some stuff in there, spread the word too, because we usually, for the most part, we don't have enough to go through for a full hour. So it's better for me to have too much to do than, not. Oh, awesome, Dirks. I got you, man. I got you. Okay, so got the bark, right? It looks like it's just got a normal on it. Then what is this? There's this leaf texture. And we've got a specular map, which is really interesting. It's the way they built it. They've got a normal and a diffuse with an alpha in it, so you're getting this look. And it's a 1024 by 1024. Let's see if we can't isolate it. Looks like it's just 4 triangles for that. There's some really interesting buttons on this UI. So like in the bottom right here, it says generate mesh. I'm not going to click on that because I have no idea how it's going to handle it. But essentially it looks at what you've made and attempts to create a mesh that will fit this this branch that you've made. It's pretty cool. That's a really cool feature. Then we've got this one. This one looks like it's the camera facing one. So it's just some branches and some leaves kind of scattered throughout. And a cap. So the cap is probably being used, yep, right here. So cap material is here. And then I believe it is also on these guys. It's just on the heads of these. Dude, this part's pretty crazy too. So if you look at the, let's see if they're doing it. Where the branch meets or this, I don't even know what you want to call this knot reaches the tree. If you move it around, they're like vertex blending between the two. So they're like taking care of a lot of the transitional stuff for you. So if I like tilt this out like that, you can see it's crazy. They take care of a bunch of stuff for you. You can even like what in the French toast, man? That's insane. Let's go here. Move this up a bit. Massive attack, whoa. It's true. So they're not really using all that much textures. One thing I'll say is the leaf textures, although a bit flat, if you notice their distribution of their leaves, they've got quite a bit of color scattering going on in there. So they're not dispersing the color in a way that you would expect. I think it's because this is going to be used as a card, so it's kind of hard to tell like where that's going to land. But the leaves on the outside are generally going to be greener because they're getting more of the light than the leaves on the inside. The ones on the inside are going to be green too, of course, but not as lush, right? Not as full of energy. So thinking about stuff like that when you're making these textures is going to be really important. These textures can be made, I would suggest making them in a 3D program. So actually building out your branches with like splines and stuff, and then placing the leaves yourself. And that goes to my other topic, leaves. So when I've done trees in the past, I've modeled the leaves out. I think I have one that I started on for this talk. And for face melt, this is the stuff you're talking about, like doing it by hand. I believe that a really good tree is going to be a combination of Speedtree and some things by hand. So let's see if I can't find. Is it test? No. Poplar? Poplar. Okay, so what I've done is I have a texture here. Can I view it? Yeah. So I found a texture online just to test this stuff out. And I've just straightened it. I think it was angled at first. I just straightened it out so that you've got like where the leaf stem starts and then go all the way straight up. As straight as possible. Yeah, it does have a leaf maker, and I need to look at that because you can do some really good stuff with that. So this is the way that I used to make it. And I mean, I think just because of comfort's sake, I'd probably do it again. I just give it I just map that to a quad, then cut it all out, and then smooth it. And then start curving and adding loops where I want. So then you can take this and duplicate it off. And what is it? Take some of these. Start bending the leaf strangely so that it's just slightly different from the leaf before. All right, so like these two are technically different, right? And do it maybe one more time. And there's for sure there's other ways to do this that'll probably be faster. I'm just kind of stinking around, trying stuff. I'm like, where is that one? There it is. So I got 3 leaves, right? Let's see if this will work. So I haven't really done trees in Moto yet, so this should be interesting. So if I run a thicken on it, and then grab that loop and tighten, crease it. Maybe bevel that a bit so I get that's too sharp. There we go. So I've got, look at this guy. This isn't weird at all. Let's see what's going on in here. There you go. That'll work. There's some weirdness going on in here, but we're just gonna say YOLO. Because you probably won't even see that as long as that green or this color doesn't come through. Maybe we'll have to edit that out. Anyways, so you get that thickness to it. You get a nice light wrap going around the edge of this. So this is This is the way in the past that I've done it. You know how you can get rid of these too, is just go in the texture and then just fill the background with this type of green. Because in the end, you're looking at the leaves like this big, right? No problem, Johnny. Thanks for stopping by and thanks for the follow. I look forward to seeing you again. Actually, Johnny, if you want, you can go here. I push all of my streams to there with the music removed, so that should help out quite a bit for you. And I timestamp them too, so there you go. All right. So I used to do this, and the main reason I was doing this is because it was really shitty at the time to model, like take a texture and then just place the texture cards everywhere, and then find good ways to bake it where the alpha would be removed in the bake. There was always weird problems. It was a long time ago as well. So doing it this way, you guarantee that you have a really good alpha. So you just have like a leaf sheet that I had baked out, and then modeled all these out, and then would model all the branches, and then put the leaves and distribute them in a way that I liked, that looked good on the branch, and then bake the branch out, and then bring that into Speedtree. Yeah, see when you dupe it too, it flips the. Oh, that's nice. Okay, cool. So this is kind of how I used to approach it in the past. Today, though, you're getting really nice scans of leaves, which is crazy. People are scanning stuff that are really good, specifically Quixel mega scans. Shout out to them. They're doing great scan work. So we can look at that stuff for a little bit here. So they're doing really good scan work that for geometry and such. But if we explore their scans, let's do this. Atlases. Yeah, so they've got really good scans of leaves. They have all the maps already. They have a costume, of course, but yeah. Yeah, so face melt. So I bake that stuff to a flat plane. And then I usually would apply that plane or that texture to a plane that I'm deforming to kind of bend correctly. So when I say bend correctly, I mean like, let me see here. Just do this and hide. So let's say I drag this out. I put the texture on there. And then I would like say this is the branch, right? So here's the branch. This would be the card for the branch. So I just cut this down the center here. That work? Yeah. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. Just like the leaf almost. I'm just trying to get some good grounding for the verts. Mainly because I want to deform this. Actually, turn that. And then connect those. Connect that one. Connect those. So the idea was to take this, maybe this is like the grounding point, raise that, basically trying to skew this so that you can get like a good shape for the branch. Get this softer. Also remember, this is how I used to do it like a while ago now. It's not really like this anymore. Actually, we're gonna rotate that. Lova, what are you doing, man? What is that? How's it going? Yeah, so Matthew O'Halloran, or Matthew O, the guy that I was linking you guys his car earlier, he's using scans. He's using Megascans. And they're very good because, I mean, look at that. They got pinecone scans too. Like, how fucking cool. Comes with all the stuff. You get roughness, translucency, opacity. It's got it all. You can even change the workflow style, metalness. You want to go roughness or gloss. Dude, the alpha for this stuff, that's crazy. That's crazy. Do you guys have any questions before I keep moving? Bro, your workflow in ZBrush to Speedtree Leaf Maker in the past. But I should try Megascan sometimes. Yeah, Matt's convinced. He's like, Megascan, like, leaves and stuff are really good. Oh man, Red Phoenix. What's up, man? Yeah, Red Hammer Studios. You guys were streaming the other day and I just popped in there, see what was going on. How you doing? Let's see. Red Phoenix here. I see more and more peeps using Moto. Is it a program the industry slowly seeing as on par with other programs? I would say there are some things right now that aren't very friendly with it. The viewport's pretty rough. The poly count of things that can be handled in the viewport is nowhere near what Max and Maya can handle. But their modeling tools are just awesome. Like if you do a bunch of we're gonna close this and I'm not gonna say that. We'll come back to that later. Their modeling tools are just freaking awesome. Let me see if I can't demo that. I was talking about it the other day on another stream. They just have some nice. Their workflow stuff is really good. Like if let's see if I can do this. Oh, I know why I can't. Lame. Do this. Okay, so let's say I add a loop here. I increase the count. They have really nice selection tools. So if I like skip one, it'll follow that pattern. That's super cool. It goes like you can step forward and backwards in time in selection direction. Wonder if it knows what I'm doing here. No, it doesn't. It knows that I went down one, and we'll select, and then I can Alt L select those. I like how it handles meshes. It's really good. Matthew, I know you're there, man. I saw you log in. I actually have you specifically flagged for it to tell me. So I have this hotkey, so it looks at the mesh container below it. If I just press B, actually we want to do it the other way around. So take this mesh, we'll put it on the top. There's a script, I need to get it installed. I haven't done it in a while. It's just because I haven't been modeling like this in a long time. But so if I select this one, then Control-Shift-B, the booleans are taking place. And they're pretty clean. They're pretty damn clean. It's kind of crazy. And the way things get triangulated is relatively correct. There's obviously issues sometimes. And then probably the biggest reason for using Moto is their the beveling in the material. So like this has a material on it, right? if I go into the material, there's a round edge width. So if I render this is going to be a shitty render, so bear with me. It's just a viewport rendering. So there's the hard edge, right? You can just up the bevel amount on the edge. You can see it's beveling. There's obviously some issues, but those are so minimal and small. Like you get a break at that bevel there. But from here, so you're getting nice bevels. So all you have to do is you can take this mesh and then duplicate it, and then use that as your low poly. It's pretty fucking awesome. Yeah, look what it does with like this is pretty good stuff. The Chosen One, how you doing? What's he making? I don't know what I'm making. I'm just showing Moto. I mean, everything's off center and stuff too. But like, dude, it's so nice. It does have its issues though. Like it's got nothing on Max and Maya's spline tool for tubes and stuff. Got a weapon high poly to make. Nice, nice man. Yeah, you have to. If you have any questions or whatever, or if you want, you can go here. I VOD all my, like archive all my streams to the YouTube channel, and then I tag them, and then they have like timestamps. But you can also, if you're not in there already, you can go to the Discord and just chill in there. Just more like-minded people trying to learn things. So if you have any questions, there's a technical channel in there and all that. Got about 30 minutes, and then we'll be looking at your guys' stuff on the Discord through the Work in Progress channel. Oh yeah, I need to write down to look into Xfrog. Xfrog 3D. Okay, so also if you guys like what you're seeing and you haven't already, go ahead and follow the channel. I do this every Tuesday and Thursday for about 3 hours. On Tuesdays, I just try and focus, but I have the mic on, and I just try and focus on working on the stuff that I'm working on, which right now I will show you here. Since there's a lot of new people in here, I'll just show you guys what I'm doing. And then on the end of Tuesdays, we look at portfolios and stuff. I got Source on my stream. Sick. Awesome. This is Moto. Okay, so on Tuesdays, I try and focus, but I have the mic on and I take questions while I'm working. And then at the end on Tuesdays, we look at some artists on ArtStation that inspires us. Did Twitch tell me? I have no idea. I don't think so. Did they tell you through an email? Let me see here. Oh, hang on. This is still loading. Thanks, Red Phoenix, for the follow. 666s. Oh my god, that demon. Someone save me. 666s is on my UI now. I think this one's more up to date. No, they have not told me from what it looks like. Anyways, so on Thursdays, I usually do a pretty heavy talk with you guys about something, or I try to, or I focus again on my own stuff, but put more time towards talking to you guys and answering questions and stuff. And then on the last hour of Thursday streams, I go in and we just look at your guys' work. And I just critique the hell out of it if you're cool with it. So this is the scene I'm working on right now. I need to reposition this character's camera. Is that working? Yeah, cool. So over the course of the stream, we've made these parts. It's been a long process because I'm relearning Unreal. And we've even talked about how we set up these shaders and how I've been building things. And all people do is put them together. Well, I mean, it's funny that you say that. In the game industry, in AAA, a lot of the time you're not making much art. You're more or less building stuff and putting it together. So it's actually quite close to accurate. Because there's just, like, if you want to make a huge open world game, there's not a lot of time to just, you know, do that. But yeah, and what we do on this stream is we work and concentrate on learning tools, learning 3D, learning sculpting, answering all questions that I can possibly have an answer to, or finding someone that I know in the industry that has the answer and then telling you. Or what else do we do? I mean, I just want to cover everything. I want to make sure that you guys know kind of how things... He chisels a bunch. Yeah, I do. I want to tell you guys anything and everything that I can find out about workflows, process, all that stuff. Because, dude, when I was learning this stuff, there was no way you could get any of that information. All you had was, like, polycount and game artisans. It was brutal. And polycount was a good source, but I mean, like, you didn't have tutorials, nothing. It's crazy. All right, let's hide that. So yeah, dude, do it. Do the motos. Happy official, hello. Nice to meet you. Flackshot, GFX. It's nice to meet you as well. That is a John Park concept in 3D. Yes. Thanks for the follow as well. Was it Costello, Nico? Is it Nico? And 90. Thanks. You guys are the best. Okay, so we've been looking at Speedtree. And the reason we got into the tangent about leaves is it's really important to keep your leaves pretty far apart. I wonder if there's a good way to do this. Okay, this path. What is IRL? What? Since when did Twitch get an IRL category? You're kind of new at modeling. You're working on a project with two of my friends. Dude, that sounds super fun. Unturned, but a bit more detailed. Yeah, I thought it was in real life, but it was like... Since when did Twitch get an in real life category? They have an in real life category. I don't even... Creative. In real life, guys. I don't know. Null TV, it's good to see you again, by the way. Happy, that's freaking awesome. Alright, so let me grab the path to this leaf and I'll demonstrate what's happening with Photoshop. Gotta stay focused. We got 15 minutes before I look at your guys' stuff. Whoa, that's not... Broad leaves card desktop. Broad leaves card desktop. There it is. Okay, oh god. Okay, so we're gonna go grab the alpha from the channel and just do... We're gonna make this. a layer. I'm gonna paste that, and then we're just gonna fill this with black so you guys can, that's not black, hang on, just so you guys can see. So you notice also there's not a lot of lighting information in these. Boy. What's up, Canon? How you doing? Whoa, Canon, I have no idea. Make sure to post a support thing, and then make sure your drivers are up to date. That's pretty gnarly, though. Actually, hang on. 1070. After the stream, I will contact someone and see if I can get an answer. Are you on my Discord? Okay, let's see if we can't illustrate what's happening here. Oh, actually, we're gonna do the poor man's law, or mipping. So we'll just simulate percentage. So whenever you've heard me refer to mipping, this is what I'm talking about. So when you import a texture, it creates an atlas, if you want to call it that, of your texture, and it mips it down. The layout of this is not going to be exact, but it will give you an idea. Because this is not how it lays it out. So as you get further away from a texture in the game, or in a game engine, it switches to a smaller version of it so that it's not loading as much of that texture into memory. So you can imagine when this is alpha, right? Happy, we can actually answer some of that stuff after this. If you join the Discord, I can probably help you with specific things, because tips for modeling is will really depend on based on what you're doing. So see, the leaves are decently far apart, so you get some space in between these. This is all alpha, right? Wherever it's dark is going to be, you'll be able to see through. So it looks good at that size. As it gets smaller, these areas of alpha have less pixels to work with, right? So the smaller or the further away you get, the smaller space the pixels of alpha have to that's a fake tip, don't do that. As the texture gets smaller, the alpha space gets smaller. And so you'll run into problems where, like, if you're working on your own tree, you'll notice that as you get further away from your tree, it becomes solid. Or you start to notice like all your leaves melt together. That's just you not giving enough room between your leaves to make sure that that they look right, so that they don't mip together. So as the texture shrinks, the alpha disappears and they melt together, and you end up just seeing like melted leaves all pasted together. Oh God. No. Okay, I'm going to close this. Close this one. We'll reopen it again. So that's another reason that this is actually a weird idea that they have light in the back behind these. This is exactly why they're bleeding the texture like this. Because as your alpha degrades, you get a chance of seeing the outside of the leaf, because the alpha is shrunk, right? So it's best to have this padding on the outside. That way you don't see that effect. You don't see like the haloing around your leaves. If you're seeing haloing around your leaves, it's because you don't have this. I wonder if I can actually simulate that. Let me see. Boba Fett. Thanks for the follow. Awesome name. Okay, so we'll copy this again. And we'll make the background black. No, we'll make the background white so we can really make it apparent. And then the alpha. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna save over this. Dysansky, how you doing? I'm like, name, I got this. We're just gonna write wrong in the name of this texture. Spelled correctly, wrong. Save it as 32 because it's got an alpha. Okay, so when we look in Speedtree, if I do this and we repoint to the one that says wrong, so you're already seeing it from here, but if you go out and you see that white that's happening, basically the alpha is mipped away and is exposing the white behind the leaves. So we get really close. Oh, it's not even going away here. So the alpha is just really inaccurate. So you're seeing the color behind the texture because the alpha is not removing all of it. Hey, thanks for the host, Hostel. Holy tree mesh. Jesus Christ. So don't do this. Oh God, don't do that either. Yeah, so just make sure that you don't have a black background or a white background. Have the colors of whatever it is that you're making bleeding behind it. Yeah, we're just gonna close this. And then we're gonna repoint to the right. So it says wrong, go to the right one. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. So I did not make this tree, but I've been explaining how like trees work. Goo virus, awesome. I'm glad that helps you. It's a pretty common thing that people don't realize, and unless someone says something or you ask about it, and you don't know. How to get the bleeding? So they call that padding. It's been a while, so let me see. Padding, texture in Photoshop. So edge padding is what they call it. On a chain link fence, you would just do the padding of a fence. So just whatever the texture is, you just add padding to it. There is a script, and it's been ages, so it's a free filter that pads the edge of pixels and blurs them together. Solidify. Okay. Let me check this really fast. Okay, so I found a Photoshop plugin. I have not tried it, but if you go here, Polycount suggests using it. It's a Photoshop plugin that's free that will allow pixel padding. It basically allows you to pad your pixels. Where is it though? Solidify is nice. All right, cool, good deal. Where is it though? I believe in Polycount. Yeah, I trust them. They wouldn't post that if it wasn't real. All right, cool, glorious. Another thing that we covered for people that aren't around or weren't around a minute ago is the AO. This button up here. Just make sure to generate that. And it will fill in the shadows in here. So like let's see if I just move. I'm like, turn your leaves off. Grab this branch. So if you're moving this around, see there's no lighting on there. We're just going to grab some of these so I can illustrate the, because I have no idea right now how to clear the, okay, so turn the leaves back on. So you see those ones are super bright. That's basically what a tree looks like when you're working on it in here. You go to AO and then just bake default. It'll fill, basically do a AO pass. Oh yeah, the XNormal plugin, that's right. So XNormal, which is a free tool, also has a plugin that allows you to pad your texture. So you can basically have, what do we do here? So if you have this, right, without the white background, and you just have the leaves separate on their own, you can run an XNormal plugin on this and it will pad around the outside of the pixels and just expand them out however many pixels I believe that you tell it. I should probably delete that one too, so I don't accidentally use it or some crap. Gown. This is kind of cool, being able to see inside of there. Dude, man, how you doing? What is up? Yeah, so XNormal has some plugins. You might need to reinstall XNormal to trigger being able to select that plugin for install. And then that plugin, I think, just shows up in here in your filters. It will be like an XNormal selector down here. Can't remember though. Word, homie. Word. Nulled? I mean, Nulled looks fine. I don't use it. I had some trouble with it on stream, but I believe that has everything to do with me just not using it before. I haven't heard anyone complain about it. I know that it bakes really quickly. You get AO really fast, and the big benefit for Nulled is it's a GPU-based baker instead of a CPU. So the baking happens really quickly, right? So yeah, I think that'll be my base level spiel on trees. Next, we'll probably talk about, either on the next stream or the stream after that, we're going to talk about actually modeling stuff and how to approach that, stuff to think about, and all that jazz. So it's 8:54. I'm just going to take some questions from chat for maybe like 5-10 minutes, and then we'll go look at the work in progress channel on the Discord. I need like a camera view that's like where the webcam gets bigger, and then I have the background. I'll probably make that. So when I take questions and we're just talking, I can just, talk to you guys. Don't you leave me, Pinion. I still got another hour, buddy. You're in the right place. Okay, questions. Oh, I didn't even see your message, Matt. Yeah, the XNormal dilation tool for Photoshop, quite widely used. Use that one, because then you don't have to download that other program, especially if you're already using XNormal. Could you try the vines by force on objects? Virus, I'm not gonna do that on this stream because I expect to see some horrible results initially, mainly because I've never done it before. But let's look at that. Let's look at that on the next stream. What programs do you use? By Flackshot. So the programs I primarily use right now for modeling is Modo. For sculpting and sculpted details, I tend to use ZBrush, but I have gone into 3D Coat before. I really like 3D Coat from time to time, depending on what's going on. If I'm just sketching, sculpting, probably still ZBrush. If I want to get super freeform with that stuff, then with sculpting, then I'll probably use 3D Coat because I can use their voxel tools to get a base shape. But then, I'll end up moving it to ZBrush anyways because I like their sculpting tools. As far as editors, Huge fan of the Snowdrop editor, right, Matt? Yeah. That's the one that we use at work. The one for home right now is UE4. So the Unreal tool, mainly because it's free and it has a nice material editor. I hate that they use light maps, but what are you going to do? They'll fix it eventually. What else? Substance Designer and Substance Painter for texturing, and Photoshop when I need to. I'm not really a fan of Photoshop these days. Hopefully that answered all of your questions, Fleck. Dude, Ben, are you out of town now? Are you gone? Are you gone skis? What else we got here? Looks like I got all the questions, unless you guys have any other questions. I'm so happy that Virus's bleeding problem was answered by that. That's good. You can use Speedtree for bushes, trees, grass. I mean, you can do it all as far as I know. What's my favorite planet? I think it's Mars. I'm really intrigued by Mars, especially when we started seeing those pictures of like, the sweating when the water would melt. You flying home Sunday? Yeah, dude, cool. Yeah, Saturday's going to be great. We're going to play Werewolf. I have not used Nuke, but I really like what I saw of it. I mean, it's like node-based image or video editing. Uranus, I knew you would say that. Oh man, the questions are coming strong now. The chicken. Matt, the chicken. At least that's what America tells me. Uranus. How do turtles hold their breath for so long underwater? They're so small. I don't know. Stripe 103 with the drop. The egg did. Matthew O. All right. Let's look at Discord. Eggplant. Aubergine, right? Aubergine? You're like, we can't call it ambrosia, so let's just change the letters a little bit and say aubergine. I'm probably still saying that wrong. Eggplant. Okay, where the hell am I? There we go. Oh, man. Okay, work in progress. We got 16 new ones. 16 messages. Not all of them work in progress, but we'll scroll up a bit. Gonna go to the door detail stuff too. All right, yeah, this looks like a good spot to start. It is 9 o'clock right now. We got another hour. Do you guys want to... Aubergine. So do you guys right now, do you want to look at the people's work? Or do you want to look at the new updates for just like the rundown of the notes on the new substance stuff? Leave that up to you guys. We won't actually open substance. We're just going to look at the notes. Boy, where do you live? I'm in southern Sweden right now. In a closet, a very small closet that's actually much warmer than Sweden is right now. Let's look at people's work. All right, let's do it. Okay, wait, let me go up. Okay, no, all right. So this is super cool. Murphy, how you doing? How you doing? I'm like, where's my Wacom? I grab a real pen. That would have been terrible. You'll pass it through Discord? Cool, man. Yeah, I look forward to seeing it. Okay. So we got Mr. Orange. You're not done by a long shot? That's fine. Work in progress. It's all good. So this is looking really cool. I don't know how many subtools. Looks like you've got, wow. You've got 23 subtools in there. So this is looking really cool. I don't want to comment on it really, just because it's coming together nicely. Let's see here. We'll see if I can nail some stuff down. So first, the things that I really, really like is this tree is fucking cool. So the detail that you have, oh god, hang on. Do a nice blue. These shapes going on here and the flow and how that's sharp and this is sharp. This super cool style. Can I do this? No, that's not. No, hang on. Do blue. So this is cool. Really like how this is flowing. This is super cool. This is cool how this wraps around. The tree in general is looking pretty rad. Where it's meeting the stuff right now, I'm assuming it's just because you haven't gotten to it yet, but you got like that, how that's clipping in. The mushrooms, I'm not sure if you're looking at reference for just how mushrooms, you should put the work in progress image just on the work in progress channel. It's whip-art. Yeah. But so you have mushrooms here and then these three here. I think these are all mushrooms. If you're going off of reference, like these guys are correct. Feeling pretty good. They're like those pads that like connect to the side of trees and they just kind of, they fan out. This one's curving weird, like it's leaning. So maybe it either needs to be a little bit lower and then straightened out. And then these ones need to, I feel like need to straighten out in order to follow the same, like this one's okay. But like they all need to straighten out in order to have that same, like they're from the same species. The rocks look good detail wise. Just remove this stuff. The rocks look really good to detail wise based on the detail that you're seeing on the tree. Let's see here. You haven't started on the ground really yet, so it looks like you've blocked it out, which is cool. There's a little bridge here that looks pretty good detail wise. When you squint, you're getting most of your details happening here, like high frequency detail, and it's making the scale feel really strange. Like I would step back from the smaller details here and try and keep them within like this range of size and detail, if that makes sense. How do I get to this Discord from the app? If hang on here. So if you do this, click that link and you should just get an invite. Then you just go to the work in progress channel, whip-art, and you can post stuff in there. But the detail intensity here is quite high. So there's a really big imbalance of areas for your eyes to rest on. Like I almost say, I don't know, this one's difficult to, at least from this angle, it's difficult to balance where the eyes should be resting. I would maybe steer away from smaller details, smaller than this. So like all that detail in there, probably steer away from that. Just so like you can focus on the doorway and focusing on this. I'd be careful with the detail that you're adding here. And then probably just make these pillars solid instead of adding that detail. You could do that detail in maybe like the diffuse. And what else? Yeah, it's just the frequency of the detail here is really high compared to the tree, as far as the size of the detail. So the tree, you're getting big details as well, and it's super, super cool looking. You just need areas for your eyes to rest. So maybe the lily pads need to be smoother on the top. Let's see here. Maybe around this area, if you take these lines and kind of blend them together. So this area here becomes, let's see, this area here becomes a tad bit smoother before going back out to details. So this stuff can still exist, right? But just so your eyes can rest and they can focus on this walkway that's going around. It's really cool though. I would think about how this is grounded. Like I would even just like carry this mushroom idea even further up. Make this, make the top of this the mushroom, or the largest of the mushrooms, and then have this built on top of the mushroom would be pretty cool. But overall, the idea is really cool. Just needs more of that, more balancing before you go too far into the detail. What's up, sir? How you doing? How you do? How you do? Okay, so Carson. Well, actually, we'll go to Carson's finished image of it. Where's it at? So, okay, so I don't know how much experience Carson has, but I'm just going to point out stuff that I feel like can be addressed with the scene as it is currently. So if you were going to keep the scene empty like this, I would try and make the background black. Maybe put, I don't know, making it so dark like that is really, it's hard to sell the look. Because like if you make that dark, then the grass fades into that darkness, right? And then everything is focusing on this light. And the only way you see this pole is through the light, which is cool. So you see the light here, you get a little bit of illumination there. The light fans out. You get that highlight going down this side. You get the grass illuminated. And then you get the chair illuminated as well. So it becomes really ominous. Like it's basically a shot that's going to look like that. Then in the distance, it's all dark, which I have a hard time, like, it's hard. Compositionally, it's really difficult to deal with. I would just suggest, like, essentially duplicating this scene without the chairs. And then, actually, I'm gonna do it. Hang on. I'm just gonna do it on the, so we'll open the original. I hope he does not mind. I'm going to just go crazy. It's going to be pretty hacked together as well, so just so you guys know. Oh, that's not. There we go. Okay, so. Oh, there's vignetting too. Okay. That's fine. What is happening? we're just gonna put that back. Let's erase that. Don't worry about the gradations and such. So let's see if this will give us something close. What is happening? There we go. So my idea is more like if you make the background dark, like that. Let's do that. I'm sorry. So let's take this, duplicate it, and we'll shrink it. Put it in the distance. We take this one. We basically do this. Oh man, this is such a hack job. I'm sorry. But you're without making more content, you're like alluding to a path in the distance. Dude, I can't undo with this thing. This thing always pops up. I need to change that hotkey. But you can allude to a ton. You know, like there's a path. Jar affair. Hello. Going ham. So like you can, you know, weave it through like all that stuff. Anywho, yeah, I don't like doing this to people's work. But like having a blank scene back there is really like, that it leaves stuff to be desired. Like you want to go further, right? Like I want to see more, even if it's simple like that. Where you at? There we go. The other thing is the gradient of the grass. On the edge, have the grass low. So this line is height, right? So like get it tallest most around the light, maybe because of the way they mow the grass. If you do see this line in the back, I would dip it down so it's kind of like a path that's sloped. I'm using a Intuos 5 touch. But I don't really use the touch feature at all, so it's not really... If you want to save some money, just don't do the touch stuff. Yeah. Let's see what else is here. The other reason for lowering the grass here is you can end up lowering it here. And because it's lower here, you can get some separation where you get grass here, and then you get some grass going on here. Ugh. And just grow it up from that. And this rock that you have here is super cool. I would just like scale it up and make a big one here. Maybe add some little rocks. That could actually be that rock. Just scale down if you want. If you want to save some time. Maybe one here. Just to try and, you know, as you're filling out the scene. You can even take this lamp and just duplicate it and put it in the back. So it's like right here. just so you give that illusion there's more. Yeah, so I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to go too crazy. So, what is it? Acerlix? I think that's how you say it. Oh yeah, let's get to this one first. So Andrew is starting to work on some hard surface sci-fi stuff. I do sci-fi set. How you think what to use than Keyshot or Substance Painter, or and. I'm imagining that or and means like both. Dude, I probably said your name horribly wrong. I apologize. So, if you're gonna texture this, I mean, you could use Substance Painter. I would use Substance Painter for the mask tool. It's really nice. Or the Quixel Suite has really nice mask tools. Oh man, it is acrylics. I almost hit my head on the wall. That's awesome. Happy, I got you, man. Acrylic. Not organic. So trees and rocks are organic shapes, right? Hard surface is like man-made stuff, like metal materials, machinery, guns, mechs, that stuff. So this stuff's looking pretty cool. I would these little details here, I would leave those until, I don't know, later maybe. I'm trying to think of like, the bevels might be a bit tight, especially on the smaller details. Be super careful about your bevels getting too tight. Yes, Happy, you can post in the Discord, in the work in progress channel. It's called a whip-art. Just paste an image. You can just highlight, copy, and then paste it, and it'll upload it to that thing. Design-wise, it's looking cool. I think it's a little early for me to say anything about it, other than just be conscious of how tight your bevels are and the small details that you're adding. Think about like what the resolution is that area would be baked out at, like on your unwrap of your low poly, right? Those details get really hard to see. I mean, you could make those shapes and then make them stamps in Substance Painter as well if you wanted, and then add them afterwards. So we got acrylic, making some bricks. Looks like Substance. I think we looked at this before, and it was pretty chipped up. That's scaled back quite a bit, which it's looking pretty good now. The albedo might be a bit saturated or possibly too dark. The reference I think is right before. Yeah, so see the difference in the values between these two. So this one looks different. That's not the same as this one. So this one's even less chipped. This one looks much more natural. The color though, like just try and match this, but this photo looks unbalanced. You can see like there may be a little bit of blue in it, and that just means that the person that was taking a picture of the Flack, thanks for the follow, by the way. I don't know if I said that. Nah, I fixed it. Dope. This color of this image looks like it's has not been color corrected. You can see it kind of maybe looks like it might be a little bluish. And usually that means that the person that was taking a picture was not using a, what are they called? A density filter. I think it's a density filter on the lens, which basically removes the bounce from the sky color coming into your textures. Helps a lot when trying to get color accurate images. Let's keep going down and we'll We'll look at if there's that updated one. Wait, what? So that was all made in Substance is what it looks like. Forest Ground. Let's see if I can open the original. That's pretty crazy. It's pretty cool. I like the little plants. Density filter. Polarizer. Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what it is, a polarizer. Polarizing filter. Classic. So these, the only thing I would say about this texture that's happening right now is these lighter ones here. Like when you squint, they feel out of place. Like it kind of, they look like feathers from a bird. I'm not gonna lie, it's like a seagull had a fight with another seagull, and they were really going at it, and then this was like what was left. No seagulls either. They've all flown away. They look like feathers. I think it's just a color balancing thing. Density wise though, it's looking really good, and then like all these little leaves and stuff in there is really cool. The ground that's under it, I might be careful with like keeping it a different color from the grass. Maybe try adding either another pass of smaller, thinner blades that are higher density under that, or just bringing the grass value and the mud value together more so that they harmonize a bit. No problem, Flack. It's cool though. It's more than I've ever done for a Substance with grass. We got Arthur here. He's working on his gun. Dang, that looks sick, man. Your attention to detail is pretty intense. I like it. So there's a really good balance of value variation in the roughness texture. And then you're getting some really interesting damage that's happening like throughout the wood paneling itself. I guess this is worn a bit more just because you're assuming that you're touching it. Sir, I have talked about the foliage. I can get it on YouTube tonight if you'd like, and just save the formatting for tomorrow, just so I can get it out there for you. Would you like that? I can do that right after the stream. Just start uploading it. This looks cool though. It's like I maybe want to see a bit more of like a distinguished roughness difference on the bottom here, which is kind of hard to tell because the light is not really hitting that side of it. But it's awesome. Because like, you know, you put your hand under there all the time. You'd expect the roughness under there to just be a little bit darker. And then roughness to be darker. To be more rough, I would expect the wood to have started to absorb maybe the oil that was in the hand of the person who's using the rifle. Or the shaddy or whatnot. And yeah, I just expect maybe just a bit of darkening here on the underside. And then this is pretty cool. I would maybe take a pass on maybe some bleaching the top of this, just so it's got a little bit more age to it, because it currently doesn't really match the aging of the grip area. You could rewatch it on Twitch. If you go to my VODs, you can see, even though I'm live right now, you can see it. The metal looks really nice. There's some really interesting stuff happening here. Yeah, I just, I don't think I want to say anything yet. I mean, it looks like you're on the right track, so just wait. But right now, everything is feeling new, which I'm assuming is just because you haven't gotten to it fully yet. It's like, this is pretty clean right now. I can't tell that strap has been on this for, I don't know, years or half a year or months. It's super cool, though. Tiling 2 times. Okay. I need to see this like in a scene. This would probably look really good once you get grass on top of it. I'm just like, we gotta do something. Looks awesome. Yeah, so then there's mud. Okay. So this cluster here, and then these smaller ones. You can see how yours feels maybe a bit washed. So like your histogram range, if you look at your albedo histogram range in Designer, you'll probably notice that the bottom edge or the darker range is probably not as much. You probably just need more of the darker ranges in there to bring it more in line with this. And don't be afraid, because the way ambient occlusion in Unreal works, don't be afraid to add a tiny bit of AO in your albedo. Not too much, because when your grass is in shadow, you'll get the AO combined with the actual ambient occlusion. So be careful of that. It'll be like a balance. It's looking good though. Yeah, Ben Wilson and Oscar Carlson. That grass is all right. It feels like the grass burned and then new grass is growing out, so that's a little weird. Ben's is super good. And he actually, this one here, I mean, look at that. So see, he's added AO to it. Just remember, if it's in shadow, that AO will double. But he has a, what do you call it? A Gumroad. Ben Wilson Gumroad. And that one specifically, so I'll just paste this in chat. It's free. He's also got some other ones. This is really good. This is high level substance stuff here. This one is more of like a modeling, but he does really good breakdowns. He explains how he built everything. And then in his substance breakdowns, he actually explains every node and does like a beat by beat. This Rockcliffe one is probably his best one so far. Yeah, Arthur, that gun's looking cool, man. Other forest ground. So this one looks pretty cool. I feel like the leaves aren't like they're just not curling or something. Like it's very matted down. If that makes sense. I don't know. But like the leaves feel like they're flattened with some height to them where they need to more be curling and stuff. But I think you might be able to get away with it to some degree here, as long as you actually have leaves packed on top of it. Nice. The other thing I would say is, like, when you look at the thumbnail, this will probably freak you out. Let me see this. Yeah. So I'm seeing this pattern. Oh, that one's here. There's another one here. So I'm seeing that pattern, so that's going to tile like super quickly. I don't know what those are. Hang on. Why do I always do that? It is like these little, it's these light things, whatever they are. Maybe a rock under the leaves or something light. Anyways, if you squint, you can see the pattern. It's tiling 4 times. Let's see here. So this, Jopie, this is super cool. You're actually getting really fast at trying to make stuff. So it's cool to see. If you haven't seen already, this is the recent scene that Jopie finished in Unreal. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Look at that stuff. Awesome. But posted this one. So What was it? There was reference for this, wasn't there? Is it in this post? Yeah, there's the reference. Okay. So in this reference, you can see that everything is pretty warm. So like the contrast between like what's warm and what isn't on yours. Like these metal brackets, I would probably bring closer to that warm value. It looks like you kind of chose your own look though. And this is an interesting approach with just modeling the, so this is what, is this just tiling, a tiling metal? And then you modeled to cut it out. Virus. Yeah, it's so hot. Let's see here. I really like this base. So this base that you've made, with another look at the roughness on it, this material would look really good, and your base is actually making this look like not as strong. I'm trying to see how. Like why that's happening. Have you tried, you just modeled the metal parts from ref? Oh, okay. I wonder if taking these patterns, because it looks like they're inset right now, and same up here. If you tried making them go out. Let me look at the ref some more. Yeah, those patterns are sticking out on this one. I think that would make it more dynamic. The other problem that I'm seeing from that one to this one is the added detail here. So you got this, and then these panels here. And these panels, are those in the... Yeah, so those are all solid. So those will give your eyes areas to rest, which will help a lot with like selling this piece. So if these lines weren't here and these ones weren't here, and this was more treated like one piece of wood, and this back piece was treated like one, and then these squares are placed on top. The normal map helps. I think it's just there might be too much noise in your normal. It's like, do you see how, let's see here. Do you see how much noise is in your normal in the details? Be very careful with that stuff. Also looks like your normal map is inverted. Let me see. So if you take, I'm just going to copy this, and we'll go do this, and we'll just grab this, and then if I go to the green channel and invert that, is that going to work? No, that was horribly wrong. No, it looks like your green channel may be inverted. That normal looks really weird to me though, and I don't know why. I probably can't edit it like this either. I've never tried to do that with a normal that I'm already looking at. Try flipping your green channel just to see what happens. Yeah, the lighting direction on it might be, could be stronger. Like, so in this one, you can see the lighting's coming from this side. So this is all in shadow, and you're only seeing this stuff because the lighting is bouncing off of the ground and reflecting back up. Or there's another like light on the side that's filling. Let's see here. Yeah, so maybe if you angled this more so that you're seeing a bit more of this side, so it's more of like a 3/4 view. And shadowing this side a bit more. Do you have shadows on? What did you render this in? It's Marmoset, okay. Hmm. So the things that I really like about it are, see this grime stuff that's built up in here? That stuff's cool. It looks really good. Hmm. Yeah, this is a tough one though. That's the materials that are on the real one are difficult. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, that normal looked like the intensity was pretty crazy, didn't it? Virus. That's looking cool, man. That's super cool. Best thing that I could suggest to help immediately is adding a character in here. Just, it doesn't have to be in the scene forever, but adding a character in here will really help you lock down your scale on things. Do you know what I mean? Because then, like, maybe you'll notice these are too big, or because right now I don't have much. I don't have very many things that I can see that are telling me the scale of stuff. Like, is a player this tall, or is he smaller? And if he's smaller, maybe there should be like 3 of these or 4 of these. What else here? Are these top parts carved out of the rock? Is the idea that these pillars are part of the environment and then it's been carved away to shape the pillar? Because you could do something really crazy, like if you take these tops and you extend them up until they meet the rock. Oh god, this drawing, so good. Yeah, because there's not a lot of things for me to tell the scale of stuff. So like door handles would help. Something that looks like this, I still can't tell. This I can't tell the size. There's some news thing that popped up in the corner of my screen. I was like, what the hell? Something about murders. It'd be really interesting to see these extended up and then where they meet the rock. So like, let's say that this is where it meets the rock, to add a bevel and fit it close to the rock and vertex alpha out to blend that into the rock so it looks like it's part of the rock, and they've shaved away the rock to make it. That'd be super interesting. Is this one mesh, one giant mesh? This whole like backdrop thing? Because I would suggest, if it is, I would suggest trying to make like one big one, like not one big one, one piece that's big that you can duplicate and rotate and move around. That way you get a bit more detail and fidelity. Let me see if I can find a good example. Because I know I'm trying to do that in my scene. It's parts? Okay. That's good that it's parts. Because like right now it feels really soft. Are you going off of any reference? Yeah, it's usually better to do parts unless it's a vista shot and then you're like, it's pretty far back. Why did I hit save on this? I didn't change anything. Where are we at here? Okay, so like this piece is being used like all over the place, right? But I mean, you're doing that, so that's good. It's here as well. So I'm using that all over the place. So I just make that one piece look good and we're good. Yeah, you can pass the link in chat, it's fine. Because like right now, organic wise, it's odd how these are shaped. Like usually if this is like a giant valley, right? It's like a deep crevasse. It starts wide and gets wide, or it starts quite open and narrows as it goes down. And right now you have like the inverse of that, if that makes sense. So like right now you have this going on, and then it looks like you got stuff going on down there. Dude, this would be cool if this was just a water plane, so you can get some color contrast, or like a darkness contrast happening below there. Let's see this link. Oh man, awesome. God, this scene looks good. So they're going, okay, I see what they've done. So this is cut in. So like they have this. Oh wow, you can't see that. Can't see that either. God damn it. They've got this going on, and then it's coming out again. So this is like cut in. It's like that classic scoop. So this is all like inset, right? So it's just like doosh, doosh, doosh. Man, that ivy is so good looking, and yet is very, very simple. Like it's just hand placed details. That looks cool. Can you get, I'm assuming by that detail that you can't get up there. It's probably more here and like crawling across this and maybe dropping down. That's really interesting. Because they're actually suffering from the same problem you are. Like they haven't... I guess they're carving this out of the rock as well. Like right here, there's a transition, and it softly goes into this. There's even a cut here to signify that they're doing that, and here as well. It's all merging together. But yeah, they have this big face thing here, right? These guys look really good. They have a cool look to them. Those are probably separate and have been pushed into the this face. From what it looks like, this big face here, they've actually made as one mesh. My doodles are horrible. Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I would look at a location that is like this. There's what's the one in real life that's carved into the side of a face of a cliff, or I can't remember. Anyways, go look at that and see how their walls are shaped. They're probably super simple. It's probably really smooth, because that's what happens when an area is really sandy or dusty and windy. It's like you basically get air erosion, like dust and wind just blowing and breaking things down over time. It's looking cool though. I would really find a way to... So what they've done in the Tomb Raider shot is they've made it... So see how dark this is? Like in your... Where did it go? With the French toast. There it is. So see when I'm small like that, I can't tell what I'm looking at. So if you can get that contrast going on in like making these areas darker, it'll really like pop and separate everything out of it. Yes, City of Petra. I'm trying to highlight it with a pen. It's terrible. Let's see here. Okay, this image right here is actually quite interesting. Okay, so getting the light really high up is giving them these shadows here, like they have control of the sun or whatever. So you're getting nice shadows inside of these spaces, which is separating out all the shapes and making the actual geometry pop out more, right? The other interesting thing is look at the background. It's going in this way, which is like the sediment layers or the striations in the stone. It's going like that. Then there's this. So the sediment is going this direction. There's a crack here, and then it's going this way, and then immediately is just shaved off right here. If you can signify that in a few spots in your scene, like this is going to help you sell that. This is going to help you sell that carved in look. See, and the important thing is when you have these lines going this way, those details going that direction, when you flatten a face out like this one, make sure that those are following the same pattern, right? Because that'll really help sell that you've carved into the face itself. But yeah, I think there's this actually. I don't think that was the one I was thinking of. There's another one. It's probably in this list. This one's crazy. This is the one I was thinking of, I think. Let me see here. This is another really good one. Oh, that's great and small. Don't mind the resolution. But yeah, having this carved out, it's really important to get those deep shadows. Like I would almost take your scene and open the doors inward so that there's like an entrance. Maybe make because right now everything is the same color. If you can make stuff darker in certain areas to draw the eye, like behind here, if the pillar separates from the background more, it's going to look pretty cool. This is really coming along though. Like the bridge is looking really cool. Like looking at it really close now. I'm thinking of the one from Indiana Jones. I have no idea. Maybe. Is it? What is that one? Were they referencing it? I'm sure they were referencing a real one in the Indiana Jones stuff. Oh man, Reed's playing around in his scene. Okay, let's so Reed's playing with Marvelous Designer. For everyone that does not know, if you're doing cloth and fabric, and if you have like a mech that has like plastic tubing and stuff, and then has like, what is it? It's like safety plastic over all of the exposed pieces. This is the tool to use. Marvelous Designer gives you some really nice fabric simulation. Virus, this is the one I'm thinking of. So I'm not sure if you should make it one big one or not. I think you should make the one, let's see here. Sorry, I'm going to go back to this really fast, guys. See where you have all this sculpted information? I would make that one big one so that you can help visually explain the chiseling to show that it's been carved out, right? But then all of the ones around it that are supporting it, I would make a piece that's got like that layering and give it a slight tilt or an angle and place those around it to help blend from this wall to those. I think you'll get a better look in the end. I think. We'll see. It's looking cool though. It needs some element separation and stuff. Like maybe if this was gold patterns in here as well. Or maybe if the pillar was slightly darker and then the font and stuff here, like these symbols have been getting sun bleached and they're lightened a bit on the edges. Could that be the reason they use one mesh? Yeah, I mean, it's so big that probably when you're playing the game, you're not even looking at it, right? But for composition stuff, like if you're holding this shot, pick lock, what's going on, man? Mr. Art Director, get out of town. It's looking cool though. This stuff is, yeah, Marvelous Designer is the bee's knees when it comes to, where are we at here? Doing this fabric simulation, because you can actually run this in real time. And he probably started with a fabric like square and on top of the bed, and then just like grabbed the corner while it was simulating and pulled on it to like get it to fold over. I'm doing good, Picklock. How are you? Last time I picked a lock was in D&D about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I freaking broke the pick lock. Like, I broke my tools. And so Matthew O, with his half orc, was like, I'll open it, and just smashes it with his like his axe, I think, and just smashed and shattered this like glass was this a glass relic from like a ancient elven society. Like, Christ, what have you done? Hamish was pissed. Yeah, this is cool. Simulations. Super, super awesome. So wrinkly. Is that down? Is that down? Hey, Duo Artworks in Melankov. Thank you for the follows. I think it's Melankov. And then it looks like started texturing asset with the material blend set up in UE4. Awesome. Cool, man. So you have independent control of like the tiling of this color versus, or this material versus this material. What happened? Why's rip? What rip? Rip? Oh, rip. Yeah. Good job, Matt. Good job. Oh, Matt. My mole monster. I don't believe you actually made that. That's terrifying. You don't get a crit on that one, man. A lot of leg hairs, Pinion. What's going on here? What is this? Oh, it's for unwrapping. Matt, you added too much detail, man. There's no area to rest. It's just dick. Just dick with legs. And no hairy legs either. There's your critique. Frothing at the mouth will be added. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, delicious. I don't know how to like talk about unwrapping in Maya. I think we need to have a guest star at some point talk about unwrapping. I'm sure there is a good video though that I can find really quickly. That's opinion. You're great. The UV map problem is solved? Okay, cool. Unwrapping in Maya. Unwrapping a what? Oh my god, the fuck. Okay, blah blah blah. Triangular UV unwrap. Thanks for solving that for me, guys. You guys are the best. This looks pretty cool. I'd be sorry. I'd be really like the rooftop area looks pretty good. But watch your I'm helping, unlike some streamers. Hey, some people donate more than $1. So the resolution down here. Be careful about your texel density. That's probably the biggest. I immediately regret that joke about the the donation. No one needs to donate anything. But yeah, texel density and then stretching. Make sure that you watch that. You haven't seen that in a coon's age? Yeah. I mean, I think for this top piece, depending on the detail that you're going for, you could probably make the bottom part like a tileable texture. Like a strip that goes all the way around. And then on the top you can make a unique piece, right? So that way you can use all the UV space for that. Matt. Yeah, coon. Yeah, he said coon. Can I give you feedback on your Rogue's transmog? God damn it, dude, man. It's too dark, man. Your lighting is terrible. Urban is for kiddies and people that stick with the times, dude. Choco balls, Pinion. They're called Choco balls. What are you reading, an old manual? Oh my god, Virus. Oh god. Okay, well, it looks like I've reached the end. And it's 10 o'clock. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. You guys are going crazy. Oh, snap. Good stuff. But yeah, for this guy, definitely watch your Matt, your texture resolution. There's a thing, texel density. Hang on. So when you're in the, where is it? When you're in the tutorials and tools section, there is a pin. If you click that pin, it will go to the Pinterest page that I made. And there's a thing in here about texture density, or texel density. Let me find it. Isn't it in here? Where the hell? Oh, is it not in here? Oh, it's gonna bug me. Wow, you guys are getting out of control. Matt, don't make me freaking do something to you. Tutorials and... Yeah, it is here. I thought so, but I thought like... Because that would be way far back, man. So I thought I'd saved it in the... Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know what we did with it, but texel density is super important, and Yeah. Whoa. Whoa, Matthew. Whoa. Boom. Not his couch. All right. Damn it. Mother of lag. Okay. Oh man, awesome. Thanks. So now that Matt has been doing that, he reminded me that we need to support him. Give me a second, and then I'm gonna head out. I know, dude. I saw your post. I'm like so stoked. Are you ahead of him? Where is it? Where did the post go? There it is. Okay, I'm gonna link your stuff again. Make sure to vote for this guy. No, I'm Jer. Man, you guys are ridiculous. So Matt made this. It's fucking badass. If you like it, like it. Oh god, come on. The design on it is so solid. So solid. Matt, so good. So good. You get that back for that one? Alright. It is time for me to roll out. I will get this uploaded onto YouTube as soon as I turn the stream off. Pleasure as usual, guys. And if I don't see you in the next couple days, I will see you on Tuesday. And we'll keep talking about Foliage. We'll actually start doing a lot of the stuff by hand. And yeah. Yeah, Matt will eventually texture it, as far as I recall. Sword, sword, sword. No pinion, no sword. No sword for you. Yeah, that was just a modeling challenge. Super, super badass. Super dopeness. Alright, cheers, guys. I'm going to get this online on YouTube. Keep your eyes peeled. That sounds horrible and painful. Don't do it. Don't do that. Alright. See ya.